This film story is narrated by a cat of that family, which is very strange. In this family, the couple doesn't care about their children. They both just live in their own fun. The cat says that their grandfathers were very good. They used to take care of each other and their children, and at the same time, their grandfathers had mustache too. But this couple was breaking every rule of their family. They didn't care about their children and they didn't have mustache. Today, a son is born in their house whose name is Tim. In this way, this couple has 4 children. Time passes, and these 4 grew up without the attention of their parents. It is found that they didn't feed their children for a long time. In fact, they never took care of their children's food. That's why Tim comes to talk to his mom and dad in anger out of hunger. He gives some food to these children, but no one pays attention to what he says. And in the meantime, his sister eats all the food of her parent. Seeing this, Tim is very nervous. That girl was hidden and poor Tim was trapped. As a punishment, this couple has locked Tim in a dark room. Here he gets a book which was written on his grandfathers. He learns from this book that his grandfathers were very good. As the cat told us earlier, only his mom and dad are weird. Sitting here, he promises his mom that one day he will fix everything like before. Anyway, now the cat is shown who is telling us the story. A box has fallen in front of him which Tim's sisters have also seen. And he want to see what is in this box? Why is he shaking so hard? She comes to the door. At the same time, we see that Tim has also come out of that jail-type room. When he sees that a baby has come out of a box near his sisters, he gets very nervous and thinks that seeing this baby in this house, his mom and dad can give him such a big punishment. That's why he tells his sisters to leave him out of the house immediately. But his sisters are refusing to listen to him. They are also having a little fight, and during their fight, the baby gets out of here and goes to his mom and dad's room. And according to Tim's expectations, he gets a lot of scolding because of this baby. Not only this, he also throws all these children out of the house, saying that until you don't leave this child away from this house, you can't come to this house. As soon as Tim listens to him, he immediately throws that child out of the house. But his elder sister holds the child and says that if we don't help this child, what difference will it make between us and our mom and dad? Now they decide that they will take that child to the place where these 4 brothers and sisters come out of the house. They were seeing this world for the first time. Tim was very nervous here, looking at the people, looking at the traffic, and looking at this world. But on the other hand, his sisters were very excited. They all reach a candy factory with that child. They think this is someone's house. Tim says that just leave this child's basket here and we will go. But his sister rings the bell of this house. The strange thing was that when the bell rang, someone shouted from inside. They both get scared, and when they leave, a big man comes out of the door. They were both hiding, but that man sees this child lying in the basket and takes him to his house. Similarly, the mission of these children was now complete. They were now on the way home and were thinking that if their house was so big, they would also be happy to hide from their mom and dad. Elder sister says that if we were orphans, we would also be very happy. On this, Tim says, "Oh fool, we will be orphans and now our mom and dad will die." With these things he gets an idea that he can kill his mom and dad, or he can send them away from him. But how does he do this? Tim sees a travel agency nearby. Looking at the guide of the travel agency, he gets an idea that he can send his mom and dad to such places where no one comes out of it, like the Amazon jungle. If these people escape from there, they will burn in a volcano. If they escape from there, the wild people on the way can eat them. And if fortunately they survive from there, then these people can freeze to death in Antarctica. After thinking all this, now they make their own travel guide and put every place in this guide that was full of dangers so that their mom and dad can never come to them. Along with this, they also wrote in this travel guide that children are not allowed on this trip. Finally, now these people somehow reach their mom and dad with that travel guide. As soon as they read it, they both got very excited that wow, now they will go out for a trip. The best thing about this trip was that children were not allowed on this trip. But then they think that if they leave the children, then the children can ruin their home. And now to take care of their children, they hire a nanny. And then they put their heavy luggage on their car and leave for the trip. It was like a celebration day for the children. For the first time, they were feeling so free and relaxed. Whatever comes to their mind, they do. Sit on the table, spoil things, hang from the chandelier, and a lot more. Due to having a lot of fun, they get tired and hungry. Tim, who was the only brother, now thinks of himself as the head of this house. He makes his big mustache and says, "I will make food for all of you." And in the meantime, Nanny comes to the door, which makes Tim a little angry because she was taking Tim's place. Tim, who is angry with this nanny, tries to get this nanny out of his house. But the nanny was so nice that Tim did not want to get her out of the house. Finally, the nanny makes food for everyone. Everyone eats with great enthusiasm, but Tim gets angry here too. He misbehaves during eating and all the food falls on Nanny's face, which made Nanny very angry. Nanny says that you will be punished for this. The children now show Nanny the same room where Tim was always locked up as a punishment. As soon as Nanny enters this room, she gets very upset that such a scary room, such a big punishment for such a small child. Nanny was very nice. She had mercy in her heart, so she did not punish Tim anymore. At the same time, Tim's sister also tells Nanny about the small child who she had left in a candy factory. Hearing this, Nanny says, "Let's bring that child too." When these people reached the candy factory, the owner here did not want to meet him because he did not like to meet anyone. But Nanny takes the child away from the door with great pleasure. It is found that this man used to feed candy to this child. Nanny tells him that you can only feed candy to this child all your life. She wanted to take him with her, but the owner of the candy factory was very attached to this child. He fell in love with this child very much. As if all these very good friends had become, Tim's sister likes this whole atmosphere very much. She thinks that this was not in her house. She wanted all this. Now the cat is telling us all the stories. She tells us that the children are very happy now, because the children do not know that their parents are still alive. Not only alive, but they're having a lot of fun. But they have run out of money. And now they think that we go home and sell the house, with which we will get more money and we will be able to enjoy more. Their tour guide tells them that you can also sell the house online, through the internet. Both of them like this idea very much, and they had talked to some people from there, who could help them sell their house, so that they also message Nanny that they are selling this house, and Nanny has to take care of the children. Tim sees all the messages of Nanny and his parents on Nanny's mobile. And he finds out that Nanny is also supporting her parents in selling the house. He thinks that Nanny is very bad. He also goes to his sisters and brothers and tells them all this. And in the meantime, we see that a lady, that is, a woman, has put up a board for sale outside their house. These 4 children are very worried, but they do not lose hope. And in their whole house, strange traps are laid, so that the next day, whoever comes to see the house, they run away in fear. Their plan also failed. The next day, all the people who had come to their house to see their house, so everyone had run away in fear of the traps they had made. These people were very happy. That's when they find out that another family has come to see their house. The family who was not afraid of any of their traps. They were enjoying all their traps very much. It seemed that they liked the house very much. But in the meantime, a strange ghost comes and scares them. It was none other than Nanny. After all these people leave, she tells the children that she was also very upset with her parents' decision. And she kept thinking all night, how can she stop this house from being sold? Hearing all this, Tim also immediately hugs Nanny. And in the meantime, some more people come to their house. These people had come from the orphanage. Tim had messaged them, and he said that their nanny is very bad. Please take all these children away from here. It turns out that the head of the orphanage was also Nanny's friend. Tim's sister also scolds her a lot. The orphanage had taken all these children with them, and in a few days, all these children were adopted by different families. Tim's sister was very happy with her new family, but the family that had adopted Tim used to run away from there. He used to miss his old house a lot. He used to go there to see him, and now his house was also broken. He was very sad and now comes back to the orphanage and tells Nanny also fell in love with the children. Nancy decides to take her kids to her orphanage. Nancy goes to Tim in a police uniform. She feels ashamed for her word and knows that Tim is responsible for everything. We will fix everything. After saying all this, Nanny takes him out of the orphanage, and while leaving, she closes the big gate of the orphanage. All the people of the orphanage started following her, and all the cars collided with the gate and stopped on their own. No one was able to follow them. After that, Nanny also released Tim's sisters. In the car, they talk that if their parents don't go with them, then all these siblings will have to stay alone like this. And now they have only one way to stay together, that they find their mom and dad as soon as possible and bring them back. Who were about to reach Antarctica? How did these people reach them so soon? Nanny takes them all to the candy factory. to the owner of the candy factory, who makes a very big ship on the head of the candy to help them. With the help of this ship, now these people were leaving to save their parents. The cat that was telling us all this story was also on the same ship with them. These children were tired and sleeping on the way, and this cat was flying a plane. Now when these people reach Antarctica, they had to find their parents. For this, it is not very difficult for them because they get their mom's thread on the floor with which she always used to make a sweater. Following her, they finally reach their mom and dad and save them from freezing. Seeing all this, these parents were also very surprised. Tim and his sisters tell their mom and dad, "We can also live together like a good family." Listening to them, it seems that the parents were going to hug them, but they are very selfish. They leave the children here and take their ship and leave. And those poor children keep watching all this. Now, because these two did not know how to fly a ship, they had also destroyed the ship. And on the other hand, these 4 siblings were stuck in the snowstorm. The snow was wrapping around them. It felt like they would die now. And now fate is on their side. Niny comes to save them with the owner of that candy factory. She is very happy to meet all of them and asks them, "Where are your parents? I want to tell them how good you all are." But here the faces of these 4 siblings were like this. They were very sad. Whose sister tells Niny they came to save their mom and dad, but their mom and dad didn't care about them. They even took their ship. Now Niny was also sad to hear them. And then Tim's sister says, "Can't we live as a family? You, the candy owner, all of us like this idea of Tim's sister." And all of them become a happy family. It is shown that the candy owner was preparing to take all these people on his back and take them away from here. He had made a flying glider in his clothes, with the help of which he flies the whole family and brings them to his candy factory. Tim's family is very happy. Everyone's mustache has also come, just like Tim's grandfather. Except for Tim. Tim is upset and Niny says, "I told you to eat oats. You didn't eat it, so your mustache didn't come." Everyone laughs at this and shows their mom and dad, who are having fun in the sea, that in the meantime, a very big shark opens its mouth from behind and jumps towards them. But they are not shown eating. A movie. This movie ends here. And in the end, we have found out that we can only be happy together like a family.